So hello viewers, welcome back to our 10th episode of SMLT Artist, and today our guest is Kristina Asinus. So how are you feeling today?
Very great, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm happy that you decided to come here, and you will see her social media right here on the screen right now. And I think without further ado, we should jump into our discussion.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the first question is, I think, kind of easy. So I wanted to ask, how did you start your creative journey and why did you choose painting in particular?
Like for every artist, the beginning is kind of unknown. It starts from unknown times, and every day since I was a child, I like to draw. I remember my dad was coming from office every night, bringing a pile of papers, which were just should be discarded, but on the other side they were blank. So I was very capable of drawing on them and realizing some stories, just playing with them. And then later I realized that I'm not very good at math, of course, and I should do something with arts. So yeah, I just went to Academy of Arts, first of all, because I wanted to draw a lot, and later I discovered that I can paint as well. So just kind of very naturally, harmoniously, everything came from those blank papers to canvases.
So okay, as I understand, you weren't really good at those technological sciences, right? So
Yeah.
you also, since your childhood, you were sort of a creative spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I think you also studied graphics?
Yeah, graphic department in the Academy of Art, yeah.
Yeah, so sort of like the dry technique of art. Yeah, and it's interesting how you sort of evolved into oil painting after that.
Yeah, that's interesting because I went to graphic departments not because I wanted printmaking techniques to know, but I heard that that's the only place in academy where you really know how to draw, and people are taught that sort of technique. So I went there because of drawing, and during the first course I already discovered that printmaking is not for me at all.
Okay.
I was very, I don't know, I felt huge tense there. I was very stressed because I couldn't control the process. I never knew how my cliche will come up. I couldn't control the process. So I realized that painting was really I don't know, the way to go, because I could control all my inspiration. So yeah, and I'm really glad my Academy of Art really supported every student. They really are very open-minded, and they allow us to evolve and to find our own way. So that was really appreciated.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you weren't afraid to go further and explore more.
Yeah.
So I think we should move further into our discussion, and this one question I really just want to know, what do you think that was this one personality trait of yours that helped you to evolve into an artist?
Well, I think there is not a single one, I guess.
Yeah.
There are some sorts of them, but the main one I should say maybe is hardworking. Yeah, you really have to work a lot. You should be some sort of workaholic, so to say.
Yeah,
yeah, you don't have to be afraid of hard work, because by working you are realizing your own techniques, your own personality, you are getting to know yourself better. So that's really a compilation of features that good artists should have. So yeah, and of course inspiration. You can't only work hard without inspiring yourself. So when you're combining those two, it's really a success, I guess.
Yeah. I think what you also need is to be brave, because not everyone has the guts to be an artist. I mean, a lot of people usually just ignore that and they go for something else because, oh, I can never make it as an artist.
Yeah, that's the process, I guess. It's not a year time experience. It has to be a whole life experience. So when some people realize they don't have a gut, so that means they are maybe not art is the path for them to go. Yeah,
maybe they weren't carved out to be. So I wanted to actually scratch the surface of the graphic arts again.
Okay.
So I just wanted to find out better, like, what was the journey in that field? Like, when did you realize that it wasn't really for you, or that you didn't really enjoy it as much as you thought you would?
After first course, I guess, even during the first course.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I really enjoyed. I don't know the communications, but as I said, I couldn't control the process. I never knew how my picture is going to be in a final result, so it always gave me some stress. And I wanted to draw. I wanted some realism at that point, so I just really was immersed into that. And yeah, I then on the second year we went to Nida to the practice with wonderful lecturer Jonas Šapas, and he was the first person in academy world who really, I don't know, trusted in me, in my art, in my painting. He just really supported the way I express myself, and he said I should really go that way, and that support was really needed at that point to just to go to that crossroad and to proceed the way I was doing.
I just want to ask, why didn't you maybe redirect your course, maybe into painting after you realized that you don't really like it? Were you scared to do that?
I did that, but it took some time. From the first year on the second, we went to Nida on the second, after the second course. So after that, it was completely painting. But of course, I couldn't just only paint because, of course, it's graphic department. I had to compile that and make something more suitable in that niche. So I started making books, a lot of books and artist books, and I was using my paintings as illustrations. So even my final work of all those bachelor degree things was a book illustrated with my paintings and with some calligraphy. So compilation of those things.
Well, I'm really glad that you mentioned books, because the next question is about them. So when I read an article about you, it said that you created an artist's book as your bachelor's graduation final. So I really want to know, how did this passion start for books? Like, did it benefit you as an artist?
Yeah, of course. First of all, it gave me very sensitive understanding of the composition, of the color, how to use space and to express your ideas very fluently. So yeah, and my final work wasn't an artist book in particular, it was a book of illustrations, but it looked like artist book because the paper was very sensitive, you know. I really was into that, so yeah. And after academy, I realized that I always knew I want to paint, but I thought that maybe from painting I couldn't, you know, survive. So I went to work in several companies in graphic design sphere. So yeah, really experienced the commercial side of books and the artistic side. And after that, I realized I maybe have something more to give to the world, maybe in the shape of color. So I returned to my primordial dream, so to speak, to paint.
How did this passion for books start? Maybe you loved reading as a child or during your teenage years?
Yeah, I always was reading books, like from Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings to later Castaneda came on and so on. So science fiction books, all of them were read. So yeah, but not even what was written in the book was more interesting for me, but the shape of the book, the pages, font, and everything, those things compiling one body. So
the physicality of the book. Yeah, I find that I can't actually like read any electronic books. I have to have it in my hand. So
even though it's not ecological, and now as we say, you know, we have to cut trees. I really am at this point in, I don't know, in discussion in myself, whether I should buy, you know, a digital book or that. But yes, of course, the feeling it's just completely different.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we can go further. So I wanted to ask for you to describe one of the paintings that made you very proud. Do you have a painting in mind?
Yeah, that's the question. I think not every artist can answer. I guess. I don't know. I think it's a process, and I couldn't say now particularly one painting is my thing of proud object, so to speak. But because I'm always evolving, so maybe a month ago I had some painting like that. After a year or two, I won't be looking at that as a thing to be proud of. So yeah, and that's kind of nice, because you're always looking at your art very critically, and you learn how to see your, I don't know, skills evolving, so you adapt of that thing of proudness.
Yeah, but I think maybe when you're starting out as an oil painter, even the painting that you made first could be one of your proudest things, because sometimes it's even hard to do so. It's hard to start painting. So maybe when you started your journey, it was something that made you really proud.
Yeah, there are some series, for example, from my first exhibition when I was still in academy, I drew academy style, so the realistic ones. So those paintings, I'm kind of proud of them, and I will never maybe sell them or never going to give away them. So those maybe should be said as being proud paintings. Yeah, and later there is one when I switched to other style, like this one, more colorful, less of realism, so to speak.
Your current style.
Yeah, so there is one painting which I'm not going to say I'm really proud of.
Emotional value to you.
Value.
Yeah. Okay, now moving on to your techniques. So as an artist, do you try to experiment with your techniques, and do you find it difficult to do so?
I did. I experimented many years from. As you can see, I went from academy painting, very realistic ones, to kind of more abstract, but not entirely abstraction. So I always was searching for some kind of brush types, from palette knives, from everything like that. And I switched to kind of, and now as when I just realized I have some maybe beginning of my current style, which I really want to develop, but I am now more settled on the ideas and things I want to say through my techniques, not entirely just how to hold a brush and to shape some colors, because I think at the moment I have enough things I can already use. So
Okay, I understand. But I do want to ask more about this. Did you have this sort of like an eureka moment when you painted something like this in your current style? Did you like have this moment where you painted it and you were like, oh, this one is it, I want to paint like that now?
Yeah, there are. And maybe a few months I just realized I like something to be developed in texture, so to speak. So I just placed I just took a painting I don't like at all, because I usually have this tendency when I think I failed. So I'm taking that painting, I'm overpainting it, and then I realized the texture is really amazing and it really gives the depth to the new painting. So I started now just doing it very more often, taking some paintings, and of course I just don't have so many of such fails, so to speak, so to create a lot of them. So I just started experimenting with texture colors and texture, how it's in English, texture creams, and so to speak, just to place on the canvas and then to experience some texture. Because texture gives that 3D feeling. You can look at your painting through various angles, so to speak, and color also plays a game. So
and it definitely gives more depth, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I think that I'm gonna ask a little bit more controversial questions now. And I think a lot of our viewers would like to know, is it hard to make a living as a full-time artist?
I think every profession has some difficulties in making a full-time life, so to speak. But yes, when you are engaging all your skills, you work professionally, you are very motivated, I think everything is possible, and it's really possible to work as an artist. Of course, as I I finished academy, and lots of my friends also, they think that you only have to create some of the conceptual art, and only that is really art. And when you just apply some color or something like that, it's not that valuable anymore, and it's really not very artsy in academic world. So you really, as a professional, you have to combine all those two worlds into one, and because not only your colleagues are going to buy your work, actually all of the rest of the world is going to do that. So you have to be very professionally skilled just to suit yourself as a personality, as a professional artist, but you also have to look at what people are interested in, to talk about things which are environmentally also very interesting and important, and combine all those things and create something which is going to be sold as well. So not to be afraid of being sold, so to speak.
Well, I think it's a really encouraging message, because a lot of people would say, no, like, don't be an artist, you're not gonna make it, or you're gonna starve all of the time. What did your parents say when you said that you want to study art, or that you're gonna be a full-time artist? Like, how did they react?
They were not very supportive at all, so to speak. Yeah, they wanted me to go to literature, to write books, because they imagined if I go to Lithuanian studies, I will write books from the first year, so to speak. It's not like that. Yeah, so I just went there and I was very motivated, and after only finishing academy and having few exhibitions, my mother really now started I don't know, respect my decision, because I think most of parents are kind of afraid of their children, because they are not, of course they think they are not going to survive from art. Yeah, so all those things combined, so that's maybe why they are not so supportive.
Yeah, but it turned out okay, because as you said, right now your parents
fortunately
are, yeah, so I'm really glad. Okay, so another question, it's also sort of controversial. How do you price your artworks? Because I think a lot of young artists might actually be confused as to how would you do that, you know, not to go too cheap, not to go too expensive.
You have to look at the context, first of all, just to see other artists, how they are doing. Not to be very, I don't know how that word in English, more than your skills are valuable. So you have to grow not very just in the gems, but very steadily. So you don't have to price your works at 10,000 euros, so to speak, when you are just first or 2 years working in this field. Yeah, you have to be very reasonable in that thing. Also, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Were you also moving like that? You know, like the longer you were working, the pricier
also the
your
skill,
works became?
also the way how your painting is combined. If it's really technically very good, and also I found that it's not the size. For example, people say, "Oh, if this is a huge painting, this price is going to be bigger." It's not like that. It's for artists. Artist is not very good person to charge his or her works, because he or she doesn't think very. I don't know.
Highly of themselves.
Not highly, but rationally about their works, because they more are guiding themselves with feelings. For example, for me, sometimes art, my painting is going to be higher priced because I feel myself more in that painting. I find myself more there. I customize more with that. And there are some paintings where I feel none of that. For example, I just painted it, but for example, clients really love that painting even more, and it's going to find a home sooner than that. So it's really kind of interesting how it works.
Yeah. Okay. I just honestly, I do kind of see people sort of even. I would say they like to underwhelm the artists and even ask for more, for less. Like, you know, for example, like the bigger painting, and they always try to brush down the price from a young artist. And I think it's kind of sad that you can't price your
but it's
artworks.
At the beginning, of course, we should know when that is happening. But at the beginning, I think it's okay. Of course, it shouldn't be just 50% and so on. You have to support the person. But yeah, it's first of all you have to I don't know, claim yourself in that niche, so to speak. Yeah,
I think the problem is a lot of people think that it's very easy for an artist to make art, and then they ask for the paintings at a very low price. So,
that happens.
Okay, so we're done with the little controversial questions, and moving on to your inspiration. So it is clear that one of your inspirations is nature. So I want to know why. What is so inspiring about it to you?
Well, I think everything is inspiring about the nature.
Yeah, okay.
Earlier I was working first of all on human, just realistic studies, then mundane came, and now it's completely nature, because in nature, I don't know, I find calmness, peacefulness, I find lots of wisdom, so to speak. I'm also now very interested and very aware of the environmental problems like deforestation, animal abuse, so to speak. So all that forest topic is really very close to me, and I am just trying to tell people more, to be more aware of that issue. So yeah, that's currently the situation.
It's a very Lithuanian answer, because all of the Lithuanian artists that we had here, all of them are somehow very connected and inspired by the nature.
Forest children.
So, yeah, so I think that's very interesting. Were you always inspired by nature, or did you find it later on in your life?
Yeah, I guess even human painting is kind of also nature painting, because we are humans from nature. So yeah, always, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's really nice.
But now it's more maybe prominently. Just I'm not afraid to show those leaves and so on. So yeah, that's more prominent.
I like the color schemes in your works. Yeah, they're very natural, I would say. Okay, so moving on, I also saw a lot of common everyday scenes in your paintings. Do you pay a lot of attention to your surroundings when you're looking for inspiration? Like, why?
Yeah, sure. My second, process of my evolution as an artist was mundane and everyday life. So in Lithuania it's going to be buitis, so in English mundane-beingness, so to speak. It's not going to sound as beautiful as that, but yeah, I just found that mundane can be really interesting and can be, because it really shapes us, so it really should be interesting. So I wanted to show people how we are interacting with our surroundings, and was focused more on the things, on the modern, so to speak, mundane objects. And later, as I am now in this process, I moved to jungles, to nature, and I'm showing that mundane not from a side of things, from objects, but from nature more. So kind of evolutionary from, first of all, humans, then mundane, and down to nature. So nice transition.
Yeah, kind of like a circle.
Yeah, but it's of course always about mundane and about nature. So it's just like in which shape and form you're wanting to show it.
Yeah, I think that you show those mundane scenes very beautifully, and they look very interesting. Because, for example, I, as an artist, I don't think I could even come up with, painting like a breakfast scene, as I saw like in your plates and food and stuff. So I think it's very interesting that you somehow found that beauty in the simple, routine, everyday life things that we do.
You don't need to travel, I guess, to Hawaii or somewhere else to New York. All you need is here. So if you just have an eye to see, it's really interesting and really have a potential to become a painting, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. So I want to move on to your color schemes, as I mentioned before. So I've noticed a lot of blue color in your works. Why? What does it mean to you? You have beautiful, beautiful blue nails right now.
I don't know, blue, I really was searching my relationship and tried to word it to myself, because it came really naturally. I just started to using some backgrounds, and it really fitted in the scheme of color. And later I realized that blue color also calms me, really just makes me feel that relaxing feeling, so to speak. And also I always realized it brings that poetical feeling to the painting. It's like ether on which my objects appear, and they just sprout out. And also I was thinking about recently, they remind me of that feeling when you're alone in nature, when you're looking at the sky, so poetical, so cheesy, and you see those stars, and I, for example, myself, feeling that nostalgic feeling, so to speak. It's also sad, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
You just feel that it's really indescribable. So that blue is like kind of that. So
it's that feeling.
Yeah, it's like nostalgic sadness, which is really beautiful. You can cry, you can also laugh. It's not hurting sadness, but it's kind of inspiring. It's rich and deep, and sadness is good when it comes to beautiful things, so to speak.
I totally understand the feeling that you're trying to
existential
say. It's very hard to word it how exactly it is. And also scientifically, as I know, blue color is a calming color.
Yeah.
So you're totally right.
Also, it's technological color. On the other side, they use this color on the screens to calm person, to adapt his eyes to technology. So it's also, I'm talking about environmental things, and nature on the other side is the color of technology. So it's kind of two opposing sides, but
they blend together.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling my new series Neuro-Linguistic Programming series, because I look at nature as a technology and technology as a nature. It kind of sprouts one from the other, and it's indistinguishable, so to speak. Yeah.
I think it's really beautiful how you found that correlation.
Yeah, it was really came suddenly. So
and you were like, oh.
yeah, because I went to the nature once, and I always like to tell the story. When I was there, suddenly all my thoughts just disappeared, and I realized that I have some inspiration, some even scenes of new paintings just came into my head from nowhere. So I realized maybe nature also has this capacity of programming ourselves as human beings, so that was really interesting.
Oh yeah, that's really interesting to know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on to our last questions. I noticed that in your earlier works, the human figure was more present, but now we see it less. Why is that?
It was less, now it's just steadily evolving again to more.
Okay.
First of all, yeah, it was human, it was in realism kind of way.
Yeah, as you said, the academic style.
Yeah, I had an exhibition of that, and I was, after I finished academy, I wanted some freedom. I wanted my own, I don't know, character, my own style of painting, even though that was kind of my own style, but I just realized I want something more, something different. So I just stopped that at all. I couldn't watch a human figure at all. I couldn't paint it. I just wanted some objects to just calm myself and relax on that and forget it. And after, I don't know, 2 years, I again started using some objects. So in this newest series, I'm just using objects not as entire human body, but like hands only, feet only.
Human parts,
just
basically.
human parts. They are just like fragmented. I don't know, human representations of our ancestors, so to speak, in forest, in that blue, starry, existential color, and they are just as if appearing and telling the story in a modern way for us to understand. So trying to do such things like that.
So when you start your paintings, do you immediately go in with the blue imprimatur color, or do you maybe think about what you are going to portray, or do you just basically do it all in the blue?
Yeah, technically yes. First of all in the blue, but the sketch, the idea comes just separately. Yeah, I have everything to be set and done, and then I just start my process. Yeah, but everything starts from blue. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are kind of in the end of our questions. So I wanted to ask if there's something else that you would like to share with maybe our viewers, maybe just an encouraging message or something.
Yeah, I was thinking today when I was coming here, what should I say maybe at the end? What for me is important, and what I see in contemporary art, for example, in this world, not only Lithuania, everywhere. When I, for example, go to museums, I see things that really has a tendency to use some shocking techniques for viewers, and you know, they use nudity, they use some very shocking things to
grotesque
see.
things.
Yeah, so I think, why should we do that? We really have so many things to say. Yes, of course, those things really important. We should talk about them, but we should find some different medium to do that. So it doesn't has to have that traumatizing feeling, because when you're traumatizing viewer, he's or she is never going to look at art. I mean, the way that he or she can make a change in one or different kind.
I think the problem is that we are very desensitized to everything right now, and basically the only way you can shock a human is to do something very questionable, you know, as you said, like some very expressive nudity or something very cruel or grotesque.
Yeah, in one way, yes, but in another way, as I said, real art is considered to be shocking, and it's really artsy to do that. It's really conceptual to do that. So it maybe comes from the part of academy in general, in Lithuania and another world side. So yeah, it's just, it has to change in academy world to show other people how it can be expressed. So it's not only that only traumatizing we can achieve something. So yeah.
Okay, so thank you for this thought, and we have come to the end of our talk. So I wanted to gift you our professional quality oil paper, as you are an oil painter. So I hope you will like it, and I hope you will try to paint.
Thank you so much. Of course I will.
And thank you for watching. So subscribe, like, share, follow our social media. You will see it here on the screen. And obviously we are always waiting for your recommendations or anything else that you would want to see in these videos. And also check out Kristina, follow her, and thank you for watching. Bye.